What's up, everybody? This is Go Element Autoworks back at it again. We have here a 2003 CLK55. This is an AMG 2005 right here, convertible. This is a nice car. Needs some attention, some cosmetic love, but this is a nice car. CLK55, there you go. You don't see a lot of these on the road. I think all AMGs to me are collectibles, worthy of maintaining, worthy of keeping in pristine condition if possible. In this case, he received this car from a family member, and the previous owner had aftermarket wheels. These are Lexani's. These are 20-inch wheels, and it's causing some shaking and some vibration at high speeds. So he reached out to me and he wanted to see if I had any factory AMG style wheels. And so lo and behold, I had these AMG 18 staggered inch wheels. These are AMGs, so why not put AMGs on an AMG? So I'm going to go ahead and install these on there and remove these 20-inch wheels. To me, these wheels are really a downgrade. It doesn't do anything for the car. These will be an upgrade for the car. I'm not saying that just because I sold them the wheels, but because, you know, sometimes Mercedes does know what they're doing with their wheel choices and the look, the presentation, the way a car is supposed to look and present on the road. Sometimes going aftermarket is not always a good thing. It's not this style wheel. And I personally would not put 20s on a CLK. Then again, it just really depends on the really the style of wheel. I think this car, being what it is, a 20-inch can sometimes be a little bit overwhelming for this car. I've heard some people trying to put 22s on these cars. I think that's just ridiculous, but a nice 18, 19-inch I think is good on a CLK. But in this case, we're going with a staggered 18-inch wheel setup, the OEM style wheel. I don't think this wheel necessarily came with the CLK. I'm not sure about the AMG version, but typically the CLKs came with 16s and 17s. 18s might have been an option or an upgrade with the AMG model. I don't know. But these have to come off. These definitely have to come off. Being that there's some shaking and vibrating at certain miles per hour, they're imbalanced, or you might have wheels that just maybe are not centered, or the tire itself, you know, could be imbalanced due to maybe a broken belt or just, you know, wear and tear, because these are very, very skinny tires. He has here 245 30/20s. We would consider these rubber bands. You see there is no protection for the rim. A lot of curb checking here. And also it tears the tire up. You see there, right? You know, depending on where you live, rubber band tires are not a good idea. Same thing back here. What are the tire sizes? 245 30/20. So these are not staggered. These are even all the way around. And it's just really, you know, when you go with a bigger wheel like this, a 20-inch on a CLK, you really have to put skinny tires on there to make it work. I'm not a big fan of that. I would never go lower than the 30 series if I don't have to. So I'm glad he did that. But I just think on this car, this is not really necessary. I do like aftermarket wheels. 20s do look good on most Mercedes. But I just think the CLK, especially this being an AMG, if you're going to go with 20-inch wheels, just make sure the wheels suit the body style of the vehicle. This was obviously this person's taste. The previous owner, this is what he liked. It's not a bad wheel. It's just not my style. How about that? You know, I'm being real critical of somebody else's style. So let me back up a little bit and just say it's not my style. But it's a nice car. I think it's going to look way better with a nice silver wheel, a cleaner look. So we'll see. Let me go ahead and start removing these wheels and start swapping them out. Hopefully the offsets and everything is what it should be. I know what the factory spec is. I know what these are. There's just a difference of maybe 7 at the most millimeter. And I don't think that's much difference. With Mercedes, you have, you know, some give or take room when it comes to the offsets. They don't really push the limits to the point. Their factory settings are not really pushing it to the furthest edge or maximum. You have some give and take is what I'm trying to say. So I think there's going to be a difference of 3 millimeters in the rear, 7 millimeters in the front, or vice versa. So of the factory recommended wheels for this car. So I think these are going to go in there just fine. I might run into a lug bolt issue. If that's the case, I do have extra lug bolts, so I'll make it work. I don't know, what's on here until I start removing things. But this car definitely has a lot of potential, and I think this is a great step in the right direction. So here we go. That's a good look right there. That's what the car needs. I like it. I like it a lot. Dang. Sometimes it can be so simple. Sometimes we overcomplicate things. Keep it simple. So a very familiar issue. Okay, so I've come to realize that these 20-inch wheels suffer from the familiar issue of not being hub-centric. If you look at the back of these, you just don't know until you try to put the wheel onto the car and you realize that this center hub is larger than a 66.56. And so he centered this wheel by tightening the lug bolts in a star-like pattern and getting it as close as possible to being centered. You realize that when you start loosening the bolts, and then it drops off center, and then all of a sudden there's a excessive tension on the last 1 or 2 lug bolts because it has now dropped off center, and so now there is pressure on the remaining lug bolts. Anyhow, it's pretty easy to determine that, but that is the primary considering factor, contributing factor as to why you're getting excessive vibration on the road at certain speeds, because it's very hard to center a wheel without hub-centric rings if the bore of the wheel does not match the hub bore. So there you go. That's the issue. Doesn't matter because we're putting OEM Mercedes wheels on there. So they will be hub-centric and he will no longer have the vibration on the highway. That is a no-no. You always have to consider that whenever you go with aftermarket wheels. Will there be an issue with vibration? Does it match the hub of the wheel? And what do you have to do in order to get it to match? All right, now, there you have it. Installation complete. Looks much better. Much better. Very nice upgrade. So here we go. The installation is complete. The car is done so far. I'm sure this customer will be bringing this car back for other upgrades, fixes, and ideas, modifications, things that need to be done to this car just because the previous owner did, he wasn't able to take care of it the way it needed to be taken care of. And so, I'm going to help my man out, help to get this car back to where it needs to be. As you can see, the convertible top has some damage to it. We were shooting around some ideas on how to get that repaired properly. He wants to save some money, but get this car right the way it's supposed to be. He's already put a lot of money into it. Did you know that the instrument cluster for this car cost him $2,000 because it's an AMG instrument cluster? Super hard to find, very hard to find. When you're dealing with an AMG, you come across stuff like that. Even though the CLK model is very popular, there's a lot of them out there. The differences between this one and an AMG really shows itself when it's time to do repairs and modifications. CLKs are nice cars, good power to weight ratio. They look good. You don't see a lot of these on the road, not the AMGs. I've always kind of been torn about this body style. My first CLK was a previous body style. That's what made me fall in love with Mercedes. So what's your opinion? What do you guys think about the CLK55 convertible? I'm usually a hardtop guy, but this convertible is pretty cool, man, and it actually works. I know a lot of these CLK convertibles don't work. This convertible top works. What do you think about this car?
He's gone. He's gone.
So there you have it. Gold Element Autoworks back at it again. One project down, many more to come. You'll likely see this car and many other cars come through here. So if you have any questions, suggestions, let me know. Thanks for watching. More to come.